Hey there. I'm going to talk for this one because I'm beginning to forget how to speak to human beings, and there are only so many baristas you can frighten before you start to lose sleep. What happens if you cancel Distrokid? I mean, they explicitly state that they'll remove your music unless you pay the extra extortion money to keep it up when you cancel. But part of me never really believed this. Think about it. Distrokid and Spotify have a long history, with their relationship being weirdly cozy, as in Game of Thrones siblings style cozy, if you know what I mean. And the semi-recent problem of Distrokid artists having releases deleted because of suspected botting on Spotify, even when there wasn't any or a third party was responsible, made it pretty clear where their allegiances lie. With that in mind, small artists don't get paid for being on Spotify, so for many artists, having their songs up on there means handing over music for free to this big company that makes money off of music. Looking at it like that, I'm sure you can understand my skepticism about Distrokid actually following through and hurting their close personal friend. So, I decided to cancel Distrokid a few days before my subscription renewed and find out what happens for myself. Here are the first 3 reasons for doing so that come to mind. Number 1, being able to upload anything I produce with 0 effort made it easy to view music as content as opposed to art, which is exactly what these big companies want. I mean, YouTube's algorithm wants me to make videos more often. Reason 2, I hate Distrokid and Spotify and everything related to them. I hate their politics, I hate their attitude concerning artists, and most of all, how frustratingly predictable they are at business. Ooh, let's bust unions and fire a bunch of other people so that customers are left with an overworked skeleton crew who can barely keep things running. Surely the gods will look upon our originality and weep with joy at the perfection of their works. God, you're boring. A sane society would throw such boring, predictable people into a volcano and be done with them. Reason 3. I really want to know what happens, and the only thing I have to lose is a bunch of releases on platforms that I've never bothered promoting. Like, I don't even know what Deezer is. When's the last time you said, oh, let's Deezer it. Let's Deez this cool song that I heard. I have 5 listeners on Spotify this month, as well as a complete unwillingness to invest time into the platform. For real, Spotify can get fucked. My dearest Distrokid, it fills my heart with despair looking back on our time together. The annual payments, your hands-off approach to everything, the way that not one release through you did half as well as the one I put out on CD Baby half a decade ago, despite that one being significantly worse in quality than the newer releases. The truth is, I want to see other distributors to put thought into releases instead of dumping new things onto the internet as soon as they're finished. To focus on having fun instead of maintaining a consistent enough output to overpower the noise. However, I'm not without my share of nostalgia about our time together. Enclosed, you'll find a little note that you can use to remember me by. This right here is the starting point. My shameful graveyard of songs that I tossed into the void because I didn't know how to promote them without being one of those annoying self-promoting types. Releasing them instead of hoarding them on my hard drive, like so many other songs, felt like a small accomplishment. Did you know that Tic Tacs can claim to be 0 calories because anything under 5 calories can legally advertise itself as 0 calories? It's so close to the margin of error that legally they're the same thing. I think the same might be true of small accomplishments. Anyway, all of these songs were also up everywhere else they could be submitted to, so they were also on Amazon Music, Deezer, MediaNet. Yeah, you know MediaNet? No, you don't. It doesn't exist anymore. I didn't record myself looking through these places because they're irrelevant. I did, however, go through the old emails I received from Distrokid throughout the years and find some real weird ones. You ever go back through old messages after a relationship ended and go, wow, that was super weird and I should have been way more weirded out by it at the time? Yeah, there were a few of those. After a few days of nothing happening, I honestly got distracted and stopped checking regularly. 8 days after canceling, though, I finally remembered to check before bed and noticed that one of the hyperfollow pages that list a bunch of listening and buying links was broken. I'm also pretty sure that some of my music was missing, but definitely not all of it. Not yet. I decided to get to bed and get some video of this when I woke up the next day, but by then, everything had been totally removed from everywhere. I have to be honest, it is glorious. I honestly didn't think that I cared all that much about any of this stuff, but my festering hate for big companies has always felt compromised by my participation in their ecosystems, however minimal. And now there are entire platforms that have never heard of me. It feels surprisingly freeing. Obviously, my presence on YouTube is an ethical compromise too, but at least this place isn't actively damaging to music, and that's a small victory. A small victory. God damn it. Keen observers among you may have noticed that I disappeared for 6 to 7 months after finishing the previous videos, and I'll almost certainly do it again at some point. Honestly, I'm not a YouTuber so much as a person who sometimes likes to make YouTube videos when an idea feels interesting enough to explore. So I really have no appetite for establishing a regular series or doing anything traditional just to get more releases out and satisfy YouTube's mercurial algorithm. In fact, I have a big list of possible video topics that I've avoided even looking at for months because none of the video ideas there are interesting enough to bother with yet until I find some angle to make them more fun. But I'll be back whenever I piece together an idea stupid or fun enough to justify editing together some video or just feel like throwing some content out there into the abyss. See ya.